Going. Oh, okay. I think we're live.
Okay.
Yep. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'll introduce myself, and I'll go ahead and ask you the position questions.
Okay. My name is Michael Hasson. I am applying for the captain paramedic position at Polk County Fire District Number 1.
Okay. Great. And I am Brandi Hansen, and I will be interviewing you today for that job position. I did receive your resume as well as the job description. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. We just have 5 questions for you. The first one is going to be specifically about your education. I saw that you had a list of certifications and an associate's degree, but do you plan on continuing to a bachelor's in fire administration at all?
Actually, yes, I currently am working on my bachelor's in fire service administration through Eastern Oregon University. I'm taking about 2 credits a term, and at this point I should be done at the end of next summer term. So I only have about a year left, and I will have completed all the requirements for the degree.
Oh, okay, great, that's awesome. I think my next question was more of your opinion, I suppose. With your experience and your certifications, do you actually feel like you're prepared to come up to shift captain at this point? I mean, you have a ton of experience from what I can see. I just want to make sure that you actually are mentally prepared for that.
Mentally, yes. I feel like on a fairly regular basis right now in my job, I get the opportunity to act and work up as the captain when there is one not available to work. And I do that probably 3 or 4 times a month. And I do work in a small fire district, and so although I don't hold the rank of captain, a lot of the tasks I do are some that are assigned to other captains as well. So I do some of those duties already. I feel like I've prepared myself mentally to handle very intense scenes on high pressure situations. And I've also worked really hard in my leadership skills so that I'm better prepared to lead people and not just give them orders.
Okay. Actually, speaking of leadership, one of more of the personality-driven questions is, I was kind of wondering what aspects of your leadership do you feel inspires people? What do you utilize the most?
I try to keep everything positive. In our career, we're always learning. Every day I come to work, I learn something new by the time I go home. And so people make mistakes, and rather than punish them for it or yell at them, we try to take it as a teaching opportunity and a learning opportunity for everybody. So that way the shift in the fire district as a whole becomes better. And that makes people a lot more comfortable around you, and they're not afraid to make mistakes, so they make fewer mistakes.
Gotcha. That's good. I like that. Next question is, I noticed that you had the Oregon Paramedic certificate, correct? But it showed it expired in 2013? Or is it current right now?
It's current. That was a typo. It is current.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was just curious if that was going to be current whenever you are selected for the job.
Yeah, no, it is current. It's up to date. It's good until 2017 or 18.
Okay.
And I'll have to renew it.
Okay, great. I think another more of a character question is, what do you feel your strongest personality asset is? I know we already talked about you being positive, but not only dealing with leading people, but also just you in general. How would that add to the department?
Yeah, overall, I'm just a very calm person. At home, my personal life, my wife just says you're always on an even keel all the time, and I don't know how you do it. And I think that's, in this position, very, very important to be able to maintain that calm, cool, collected attitude so that when other people come to you and look to you for advice, they're confident in what you're telling them. And I've had many experiences in the past where the company officer or the captain on shift kind of loses their cool, and at that point, everything goes downhill from there. If the leader of the crew loses their cool, it's over at that point, and it's time to restart.
That's actually really good. I like that. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so. I just appreciate your time. I look forward to this opportunity, and hopefully it works out.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yep.
Okay. And then I believe at this point we just jump right on into mine.
Yep.
So I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Brandi Hansen, and basically I'm a military videographer, and I'm applying for this job. So based on the experience that I have, I think I could be an asset to this.
Okay. My name is Mike Hasson. I'll be conducting an interview today. I have 5 pretty basic questions that we'll go over real quick. No pressure. So we'll just start off if that's okay with you.
Sounds great.
Okay. What have you done to prepare yourself for a production position for National Geographic Partners?
Well, I have just about 7 years of experience. Most of the work that I have done has been single production based on me. We pretty much backpack journalism in the military, so I'm constantly just producing and doing documentation, editing, doing the entire thing myself. So I think being utilized as part of a team would actually, I think I'm prepared for that because I have done all aspects of it. So I just want to take this next step to kind of focus more on one part of it.
Okay.
Instead of doing the entire, because I want to become better at actually being a production manager versus doing the backpack journalism. But like I said, with my experience, I've had my hand in almost every part of every aspect of the job. So I think the experience alone would help me.
Very good. Give an example in your career when you have been given the responsibility of producing a video, working with both photographers and editors, and how did you feel the final production turned out?
We have always been able to produce high quality work, whether I'm building a storyboard with a fellow photographer as a videographer, or whether I'm the editor or working with an editor. Everyone's been able to come together for the betterment of the product. There's really nothing like having the same goal that is better. And that's what I always have liked about places like National Geographic or the military or anywhere that has kind of the same mindset and the same mission. And that's what the important side of it is. So getting everyone focused on that, I think, is the most beneficial side of it. And I've never personally had an issue with that. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, very good. What experience and knowledge do you have with legal binders, and provide an example when you have put this knowledge to use?
I have not worked actually with many of that. That would be more of something I'd have to learn on the job.
Okay.
Do, however, deal with things like HIPAA regulations when we're dealing with service members, copyright. We deal with that quite a bit, obviously, because military doesn't have copyright on its work. So when I'm doing a production, we're also looking at working with other productions to get that type. But besides that, on-the-job training would be the best for me at that point.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to learn. So.
No, very good. No, that's great. Working in production can be a high-stress environment. How do you as an individual deal with stress, and how do you help others that you supervise also deal with stress?
Well, personally, I deal with it by focusing on the goal in mind. Personally, I enjoy working out, doing these things that kind of keep you mentally confident. But while I'm at work with people, I just keep focusing on what our end goal is, regardless of what the stress factors are at the moment. Because really all that matters is you're getting those deadlines, you're getting that time, the story. So I think taking my subordinates and kind of keeping their brain focused on that is the best stress reliever for us.
Yeah.
And then we also, you also look at the things you can do outside of work, whether that's building team cohesion, stuff like that, that helps relieve when stress does build.
Mm-hmm.
But for the majority side of it, I like to just focus on the goal and, where we're going to be in the next week when the story's going to be done. And I find that alleviates more worry and more stress than anything else for people.
Yeah, but it is important to decompress in your time off.
Right.
So the last question I have, was there a specific event in your life that drew you to the profession of media production?
Honestly, the military put me in this position, and it's been the best place that I could have ever been. I can't really think of a moment in my life where I wanted to be a broadcaster or a photographer. However, I don't know, I got the opportunity, I got the chance to deploy and do this doc work and put these stories together. And there was a moment when I was a young airman, it was about 2 years in the military, and I did a story on an old veteran, and he was the Korean War, I believe. I'd have to go back, but he very old, losing his memory, and he was telling his stories, and he just started crying while he was telling his stories. I produced the piece together. I gave it to his family, and he passed away about a week after I gave it to his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And she just started crying. And I think at that moment I realized that being in production isn't about me or what I can do or, you know, how we get ESPN or anything like that on. What it's about is making these human emotions real for people and keeping them in history. And that's, I guess, would be the moment that I decided to stay in this career field.
Yeah, seems like you've made quite a difference in people's lives.
Yes, sir.
So, excellent. Do you have any other questions for me at all?
No, not at all.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I think we go unlive now.
Stop.